From the Red Shoe Institute, this is Touch Base Tuesdays, sharing life-changing stories and advice to help military families with all phases of deployment.
Today, it's my privilege to have Emily Hing. She's one of my very favorite briefers. She is the iRest lady, and she helps bring peace and joy to many of our military families, and for that, we're all grateful. Emily, thank you for joining us on Touch Base Tuesdays. Please give us a little bit of information about iRest and whatever you think people need to know. Thank you.
iRest is a form of deep relaxation and guided meditation. iRest is short for Integrative Restoration, and it is the work of Dr. Richard Miller. He's the head of the Integrative Restoration Institute. I got interested in iRest after I contacted Dr. Miller and found that he had just finished a research project using integrative restoration at Walter Reed Medical Center with soldiers coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan who were diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. It was a really successful research project, and to this day, iRest continues to be taught there, as well as at many VA facilities, vet centers, and of course at Yellow Ribbons. It's been my privilege to be teaching iRest at Yellow Ribbon events for the past 12 years.
That's really cool. How did you get involved in the first place in iRest?
Well, I'm an experienced registered yoga teacher, and my family moved across country from the West Coast to the East Coast. Around that time, our son joined the Marine Corps, and that's when my yoga teaching really changed directions. Not only was I in a military community, I found that I needed to start connecting with military families so that I wouldn't feel alone. And that's when I started studying integrative restoration with Dr. Miller. And then shortly after that, I connected with Welcome Home Vets in my community. And from there, one of my friends, Lieutenant Colonel Judith Mathewson, who's now retired, she started opening doors for me to teach at Yellow Ribbons. So what I do when I teach an iRest class at a Yellow Ribbon event is I teach people some basic skills that actually they already have, but they might not think about, such as how to find a comfortable position to begin to let go of tension in their bodies and minds. We explore a source of our own resiliency inside, called an inner resource or an inner sanctuary. Then we begin to just welcome in what's in the present moment. This is what's called mindfulness, when we become aware of what's actually going on, what's actually happening, not what we would desire, not what we're hating, not what we remember as having happened, not what we're hoping for, but what's actually really happening now. And when we welcome in what is, we suddenly find that we have an increased ability to cope, and also an increased sense of aliveness, of being really here and now.
So all the families out there that with the military, what can they use from iRest in their everyday practice to help them make sure each deployment is a blessing?
Well, I think, again, contacting this inner resource of safety and ease that exists in our minds. It's unique to everyone, and this is usually how I begin. After we get settled in and get comfortable, I travel with nice blankets so that people can rest on the floor and have a blanket underneath their heads if they want. Then we begin to explore this place, this setting in our minds where we feel at ease. It could be real or imaginary. It might not be a place. It might be being with someone. It might even be a sense of a sound or a color or a word such as calm or peace. But it's unique to each person. And another really key element of iRest practice is connecting with the breath. The breath is our direct link to the nervous system. So we teach various breathing awareness practices, but a really simple one that I like to begin with is called hands breathing. That's what I call it anyway. I ask people to get into a comfortable position, to rest their hands palms up on their laps, to just begin to notice that they are breathing. There's an inhalation that's followed by an exhalation, that's followed by an inhalation. And you don't have to try and do this. the body breathes you, and you are the awareness in which the breath comes and goes. And then I say, as you exhale, gently curl your fingers in. As you inhale, keep the fingers curled. Exhale, open the fingers up. Inhale with the fingers open. Exhale, curl the fingers in. Inhale with the fingers open. Exhale, open the fingers. So it's on the exhalation that you're either opening or closing the fingers. And in between, there's an effortless inhalation. So the mind is delighted to follow both the movement of the fingers and to follow the instructions of closing the fingers on the exhalation, opening the fingers on the exhalation. And this focusing on the exhalation immediately powers up the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, which initiates the relaxation response through the body and the mind. So it's a powerful entryway directly into mindfulness meditation and the relaxation response. That's just one technique that we can incorporate in an iRest practice.
I've seen you do that so many times, and it's amazing the change in the room. So one thing I've noticed is that sometimes people seem to be afraid to let go. What do you say to those people?
That's okay. Welcome that in. So I talked about the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. This is part of the autonomic nervous system. The other branch is the sympathetic branch of the nervous system. If we did not have this vigilant, fight, flight part of our nervous system, we wouldn't be here. It's an essential part of our nervous system. So welcome that in. There may be an important reason why you don't want to let go in this moment, and that's okay. You want to be with what is, and honor that, accept that, and at some point, you'll know when the time's right that you can gradually move into a state of being more receptive. But don't push it, don't force it.
Well, that's very wise advice. Thank you so, so much for all the work you do with our military families and for agreeing to be here to share it with our virtual community. Any last words?
Everyone take a nice deep breath in, exhale, and let go any amount of anything that might be weighing on your heart or your mind or your body. Thank you.
Well, that was lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Guri.